Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Nur Aeni from the 6th semester. Now I will present about my final exam, the thesis seminar proposal, and the title is An Analysis of a Teacher's Question Used in Classroom Interaction at MTS Unggulan PP Amanatul Ummah Pajat. And here there are 3 points. The first, introduction, the second, literature review, and the third is research method. In the chapter 1 about introduction, there is a background of the study. Why classroom interaction? According Richard, classroom interaction is the pattern of verbal and non-verbal communication and type of social relationship that occur within classroom. The verbal interaction takes place because of the teacher and learner talk, while nonverbal interaction covers gesture of a facial expression by the teacher and learner when they communicate without using words. And why teacher question? According to Donald and Engine, through question, teacher can engage students actively in the listen, in hand, and challenging their thinking, because most of the questions are provided to get an answer. Thus, the use of a teacher question will stimulate students to talk while answering the question. And next, this point of background of the study, MTS Unggulan PP Amanatul Ummah Pajat is a different from other education institution with various advantage. The first, a general excellent or curriculum 2013, reduced education adalah with a certificate and curriculum standards site Azhar Egypt, and less extracurricular activity. And in learning system, MTS Unggulan PP Amanatul Ummah Pajat has a special language development, namely English, which present native speaker from Oklahoma University, USA. Therefore, during the learning, classroom interaction between teacher and student is a very good. And next, about problem statement, there are two. The first is what type of a question does the teacher tend to use in a classroom interaction at MTS Unggulan PP Amanatul Ummah Pajat? And second, what are the questioning technique used by the teacher in classroom interaction at MTS Unggulan PP Amanatul Ummah Pajat? And the objective of the study, there are two. The first is to know the type of a teacher question which tend to be used in classroom interaction at the MTS Unggulan PP Amanatul Ummah Pajat. And the second, to know the questioning technique used by teacher in classroom interaction at MTS Unggulan PP Amanatul Ummah Pajat. And the significance of the study for the teacher, the result of the study can help them in conducting classroom interaction. Knowing the type of and teacher technique of a question is a beneficial information for them to conduct the classroom interaction. After knowing type and technique of questioning, they can try and decide in which type and technique of questioning they are appropriate to be applied in conducting classroom interaction. And for the further researcher, the result can be used for them who focus on developing classroom interaction, especially in using teacher question. And definition of the key term, there are 3. Classroom interaction means the verbal communication that occurs when teacher asks question and student respond to the question during teaching learning process. And the second, teacher question means one of the most common technique used by a teacher and serves as a principal way in which teacher control in classroom interaction. In some classroom, over half of class time is taken by question and answer exchange. And the third is a technique of questioning means the way how teacher questioning to gain a student response of a classroom interaction during teacher learning process. Next, the chapter 2, the literature review. There is a point classroom interaction. According to Richard, classroom interaction is the pattern of verbal and non-verbal communication and the type of a social relationship it occurs within classroom. And according to Children, classroom interaction covers classroom behavior such as a turn taking, questioning and answering, negotiation of a meaning and feedback. And according to Barker, there are 4 types of classroom interaction. They are interpersonal, group, and cultural interaction. And the point is teacher question. According to Richard and Lockhart, questioning is one of the most common techniques used by teachers and servers as the principal way in which teachers control the classroom interaction. In some classrooms, over half of a class time is taken up by question and answer exchange. According to Richard Lockhart, there are 3 types of question. The first is procedural question, convergent question, and divergent question. And next, about technique of questioning. According to Harvey, questioning technique is the most effective when it allows people to become fully involved in the learning process. According to Whelan, in giving question, there are some techniques that can be used to help teachers in conducting classroom interaction. And this study used all these techniques. It was not limited to several techniques because all those techniques have a possibility to be used in questioning during the teaching learning process. And next, about the previous study, the journal from Yamazaki, the title and interaction analysis, a teacher question feedback and students production through classroom interpretation. And the research graph the differences between the previous proposal and my proposal was in a technique of the difference between the proposal is which the teacher preferred the feedback technique of the student in the classroom study, while to my own proposal identify the technique of asking the investigating the type of question previous proposal. And the second journal from Sujiriyati, the title is English Teacher Questioning Strategy in English Foreign Language Classroom at SMAN 1 Ponto Maranu. And the research curve, the difference between the previous proposal and my proposal is strategically and for previous strategy to focus more on the student question strategy to the teacher, while on this proposal focus on the strategy of how students respond to interaction in class. Okay, next, the last is chapter 3 about the research method. Here there is point research design. The design of this research is a descriptive, qualitative, where researcher present data into word and descriptive form. According to Kurzweil, qualitative research is an inquiry process of understanding based on distinct methodological tradition of inquiry that explore a social of human problem. And time and place September until December, place at MTS Unggulan PPA Manado Pacet, Mojokerto. And the content of the study will be conducted at MTS Unggulan PPA Manado Pacet, and subject of the study will be carried out of 7th grade English teacher at MTS Unggulan PPA Manado Pacet. And the source of the data, the informant, the English teacher at the 7th grade MTS Unggulan PPA Manado Pacet, and the event classroom teaching activity and the technique of collecting data. There are 3: the first observation, through video, and interview. The observation, the teaching learning process, the researcher use observation checklist which combine with a file note to know the question type and technique used in classroom. And the second, through video, to double check and gain more information during the classroom observation. And the last, interview, it was done to clarify and gain more information about the phenomena in teaching learning process. And the last point is technique of analysis data. There are 2: data collecting are data observation, interview, and audio recording to teacher question used in classroom interaction and at PPA MTS unggulan BP aman untuk budget. And the conclusion and data verification means search for the meaning and provide an explanation of the data. After that, verification is carried out to test the correctness, robustness, and suitability, the meaning that emerge from the data. And the last is a reference. And the last, thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.